guys, welcome back to another video. It's Mara from My Art Break Life, and it's finally done. Inktober is done, and I just want to say that it was really fun, even though it was stressful at times. But yeah, it's the first time I've done an art challenge like this. I was watching Jess Carp and she inspired me to get back into drawing again. I chose her prompt list, and I'm really glad I did, because her prompts made me kind of think more deeply about the subject, about the word, and how to make something more of it rather than just a picture. So in this video, I wanted to go over all my Inktober drawings for the month. And some of them not that good because I had some issues with them, but some of them I'm pretty proud of. And now here is my 31 days of Inktober. Okay, I already went over my first week in Inktober in my other video, which I'll link below. But I'll just go over it real quickly here. This was day 1, called Paradise. And I chose this image because my kids, when they're sleeping, is the best time. It's paradise for me because I don't have to think about anything, do anything, respond to anybody's needs or wants. It's just me time. So when they're sleeping, we're all good. And for day 2, I chose Jack and Sally as Smile because, I mean, Jack Skellington has the most iconic smile in my opinion. I mean, there's probably other people with iconic smiles, but for me, Jack Skellington has the most awesome smile. And day 3, I believe, yeah, day 3 was Key. And I drew this because right now I'm currently reading Harry Potter to my kids, and so we had just passed this part in the book where he was catching the keys, right, to go through the Chamber of Secrets. And this day I was having a really bad headache, and so I didn't want to put too much into it. I tried to push through it, but it wasn't quite happening, and so instead I drew this key here, which I'm pretty proud of. I mean, it's cute, it's a key. It wasn't anything special, but that was my prompt for key. And I drew this picture of this wave with the sun glowing behind it, so I thought that was pretty nice. And I used color pencil to render this out. The next prompt word was flow, and so I was on a water kick, so I decided to use my watercolor pens and render this out. Now it came out really light, which is kind of nice, and I used some white paint pen to kind of just accent the white tips of the waves. But again, I was still feeling very unconfident with myself at this point in Inktober, because again, it was the first time I had picked up any kind of art supplies in a while, so it's been challenging for me to just kind of let things flow or let things go. Now this is my Inktober drawing for Clover, and this is my little niece, and she was playing with chalk, so I drew her and just put a little Clover on her because she's so cute. I just couldn't help it. That picture was just too cute. And then this is my son for the Inktober prompt, for the prompt Radiate. It was cute because one day he was sitting there in the middle of all this chaos in the kids' playroom, and everybody was screaming, doing something, and he just sat down and made this pose, and I thought it was so cute, and I took a picture of it. So I pulled out the picture and drew it because he's just my little ray of sunshine. He's always so happy. And this is my prompt for Hummingbird, and this is the first time I actually drew with alcohol pens, like really drew a picture, and I was kind of impressed with it. I followed along with one of Jess Carp's videos and how she would render out the background and then put the alcohol pens down and then put color pencil on top. So that's what I did, which I was quite happy with. It was very bright and cheery. I never knew how bright hummingbirds were, so this was kind of fun to do. Now this is the prompt Blossom, and I was trying to draw not using reference. I was trying to practice using just my mind and how I think things look like while drawing this, and it kind of came out all right. But when I started to render it out with the watercolor, I wasn't liking how it was turning out. It was getting really gray and muddy in some places, and that's when I realized at this point that the sketchbook is not that great. It says it was a mixed media sketchbook, but at this point I was like, I'm thinking this paper does not like a lot of water. It can take thickly pigmented watercolor, but not like stuff with barely any pigment and just a wash of watercolor. It's just not happy. But I kind of like how the bee turned out. He was pretty cute. And this is Build, the prompt Build. And I drew this. These are my 3 sons. Well, not exactly what they look like, but this is representing my 3 sons, where one is always trying to play and make things. And then we have the middle child who's always trying to destroy everything, and the oldest child trying to just get a handle on everybody and keep everybody in line. And I thought this was really cute. It was, again, done with watercolor, so I think I want to try this again in the future, maybe with a different medium or a different paper, and then we can use watercolor. But this was the prompt Build. And this is the prompt Disco. I had just picked up the cold erase pencils because I've been hearing a lot about it. So I wanted to give it a try and see what all the hype was about. And I chose a perspective that was pretty difficult. After I started drawing it, I was like, oh, this one's hard. But it came out all right. I think I do want to revisit this again in the future using the same image to see if I can draw it better next time. But this is the prompt Disco. And this one was the prompt Catch. I chose this drawing because I think my husband is a pretty great catch. So this is just me and him. This is what we love to do the best. We love to go out to different restaurants and just have a meal together and try different new places and just spend time together that way. So this is my artwork for the word catch. Or this is my piece for the word bliss. And this is when I first started using poster color. I had gotten a set of poster colors for my sister. She's living in Japan currently. And I was very excited to try them out. But at the same time, I was really scared because I'd never used paint like that. So I wasn't sure how it would work, how it would blend. So this was my first attempt at using poster color, and I was pretty impressed with it. And this is when I kind of started falling in love with it. Because it's so pigmented, the colors just kind of stand out and you can layer them just like any other paint, but it dries really quickly. So I found that for blending, you want to make sure you use it while wet and blend that together. But if you don't mind like the stroke work or like the lines showing and not being totally blended out, you can just add that right on top, and it just goes on and covers the bottom layer very nicely. So I really enjoyed this piece. It's one of my favorites for Inktober. And this is the word bliss. Now this drawing was for the word gift. And I didn't want to draw a typical like present with a bow, which I could have. That would have been a challenge, but I wanted to do something different. And so I know every time I get a delivery from Amazon, it's always like, ooh, what's in the box today? So it's kind of like a gift every time something comes, right? So that's me opening the box from Amazon, and ooh, something magical is coming out. And this is my piece for Dream. Now, I took this picture when we were in Japan, and we went to Japan the year before the pandemic hit, so end of 2019. And it was so fun because, you know, my sister was there and she took us all over the place, and it's just everything about Japan. I love Japan. It's a life-changing experience and I want to go back again. But anyway, back to this picture. This was a picture of us standing outside of Studio Ghibli, actually. And in Japan, everywhere you go, they have these beautiful manhole covers. And they're all different. Some have Pokemon on it, some have waves on it, some have birds, some have sakura. Depending where you are and what that area is known for, they put these beautiful pictures on their manhole covers. And so I was trying to take a picture of all the manhole covers I could find when we were walking around. Some actually have colors in the inside, or the lines are blue. So when I was walking around, I wanted to get the kids and all the family just to kind of stand around the manhole covers, and I would take pictures of them. And this is my dream, to go back to Japan with my family again. And this is my piece for Peony. I was not completely into the subject because I'm not very good at flowers. So this is something I do want to work on in the future, doing more still lifes with just flowers. This one I tried to use a acrylic wash in the back. And then I used my poster colors on the top, which might be why it wasn't blending well. I'm not sure, but I was having a hard time with it. So this is my artwork for Peony, and this is my artwork for Leap. And this one came out amazing. I was pretty impressed, and it's just the poster color. It's so vibrant, and it just popped against the white, and I just didn't want to mess with it anymore. I was going to add background, but I'm like, you know what? Let it go. Looks great as it is. So I got the water droplets here jumping up. And this is my little koi or goldfish friend for Leap. And these two prompts I did all on one page because they weren't very big. This was for oak and this one is for olive. And oak, we don't have oak trees where we live, so I'm not too familiar with what they look like. So, and plus with plants and stuff, that's not my interest right now. I do want to get more into it, so you can tell I didn't really have time for this one this day, and I kind of rushed through it. But for olive, I know what olives look like, so I had an easier time with this one, and I used poster color on both of these images. So this was oak and olive. And this is my prompt for angelfish. I was looking for an image online that looked like the angelfish I used to have that my dad had left me when he moved to the mainland, but couldn't find one like what he looked like, so I just drew him. I kind of don't like the color of the wood reef thing in the background, but I copied the reference image colors as close as I could. I should have changed it, but you know, hindsight. I could actually go over it again with something else, but that's okay. I kind of like how the angelfish was rendered out. I used poster color again, and I had a silver poster color paint here actually, but I don't know. Didn't need it, I think. It looked alright without it. And this is my prompt for Opal. I'm not born in October, so I don't have any opals on hand. So I had to look online to find pictures of opal, and I found a black opal. So I thought this was really pretty, and the only way to kind of get the swirls of the opal, I had to use a lot of water with my poster color, which my paper did not like. I had to literally put paper towel between the books and stand on it so it would flatten out again. But yeah, this was my prompt, opal. And this is my drawing for the prompt, balance. Now I was pretty happy with this one because it just came out really cute. This was the first time I drew a donut, which I was pretty impressed with. I did a pretty good job, I think. And for me, I chose this image because when it comes to eating, it's all about balance. I go through bouts where I eat really well, and then I go through bouts where I don't eat so well. So I have to remind myself that it's okay to have the occasional treat. I just need to make sure I don't overindulge, right? Now this is my prompt image for love, and I had a really hard time figuring out what to draw for love. At first I was trying to go back to ink because it's Inktober. I drew this because I wanted to portray the love I feel for my kids. Like no matter how much pain and suffering I went through to have them, I love them, and that love is stronger than anything else. And so this is a picture representing me. It's not actually me because I didn't have a reference image of me standing like this or anybody else. I just kind of thought about it and tried to picture it in my mind what it would look like, of me standing in the mirror looking at myself with my baby on my shoulder sleeping, and it's nighttime, so that's why everything is so dark. You wear this adult diaper for about a week because you're bleeding so heavily after you give birth. But that was me trying to show my love for my children, and that I would do anything for them, even wear a diaper for them. And then because this felt so dark and so unlove-like, even though it did represent to me what love felt like, I drew this image here using alcohol pens and some color pencils here. But this is like representing my son older, me looking a little bit more fresher, probably not what I look like now, but just representative of me and my son and how happy we are. So when you look at the whole page, the page as a whole, it's like before and after, light, night and day, right? It's hard in the beginning, but it gets better later. And that's my prompt for love. And so this was my piece for the prompt violet. I wanted to do something a little different rather than just do a close-up of a violet plant, which was I was starting to do, but I was getting frustrated with it. So I just drew a little bit of an illustration of a boy pulling a violet plant out of the ground and giving it to a girl. And that is my prompt for violet. This is my drawing for the prompt turtle and book. Over the pandemic, my son decided he really wanted a turtle. We went to go look for one and we picked one up at the local animal shelter. And he was free, so even better. His name is Titan. and he looks kind of like that. And so I drew this, I love you, but don't touch me. And this little turtle back here, that's actually his girlfriend, and her name is Gamera. At this time I was actually watching a lot of stationery videos and planner videos, and they have all these cute little renderings of, you know, little emojis and stuff like that. So that's where I got that inspiration from. And the book, this is the book. And so I drew Titan looking at the shrimp because his favorite food is shrimp. And this is my sketchbook with him. He's never here, obviously. He's always in the pond, but this is just my rendering of book and turtle. Now this is day 27. The prompt is horse. For this image, I used a acrylic wash in the back. And for the paint, I used gouache for the first time because I bought a little set from Amazon just to give it a try. I wanted to see how different it was from poster color. And amazingly, it is similar, but also very different. Like, it kind of has that matte, chalky quality like the poster color, but it's actually smoother as you use it over poster color, I think. And so it took a little while getting used to. The white came in pretty nicely. I was pretty happy with that. And the clouds, although they're supposed to be dust clouds, they kind of look like actual clouds in the sky. But, I don't know, came out pretty cute. And this piece was for the prompt Earth. I was pretty happy how this came out because I was not sure what I was going to do. I didn't want to just draw a globe with the Earth, obviously. That one seemed pretty intimidating to me. And so I drew a picture of a woman doing yoga, barefoot in the grass, so you can't see her feet. And she's looking up at the sunrise and looking over the water, and then this beautiful foresty area in front of her. Now, there's a thing called earthing, where you reconnect yourself with the earth and you touch the earth with your feet, or people hug trees or walk through forests, which is what I was trying to get across, because I tend to do that every so often, where I'll just go outside in my garden and walk in the grass, or I'll go to the beach and put my feet in the sand, and we just reconnect with the earth, and it kind of rejuvenates you. And so that's what I chose as my subject for earthing. And I used poster color for this image, and I thought it came out pretty cool. Like, I liked how the trees were rendered and the colors. It's very not super blended, but blended enough. And yeah, first time I did water too like that, so it came out pretty nice. And this is my drawing for the prompt light. And I wanted to go back into inking because it is Inktober, but I didn't want it to get too dark like my other love image. So what I did is I have a girl have a candle in front of her hands. So when I drew this, I was like, oh, it looks cool, but it needs something else. So I drew these little dragons coming out of the smoke of the candle. And then for the shadow behind her, which would be her, I drew another dragon or a demon kind of like behind her as her shadow. And I just thought it was something cool to do. And I tried to practice the hatching of the dark to light here. So this is my image for light. Now for this one. This was the prompt Dragonfly. And of course, at this time, I was looking at a lot of stationery and planner videos, just watching it in the background as I'm doing my art. So I got kind of inspired to do something like this. I really wish I didn't take it so far as doing the background. It was a lot of work that wasn't necessary. I could have just left it white and it would have been done and fine. But whatever, it is what it is. And so I drew my dragonfly, and so this is my drawing for the prompt Dragonfly. Now this is day 31, the last prompt in the Justober 21 or Inktober prompt list, and this is reflection. I wasn't sure what to draw for reflection. I kind of drew reflection in my love picture, so I could have reused that and just called it a day. But I decided that no, I shouldn't give up. I need to see this through to the end. I mean, it's the last one. Although at that time I was really pressed for time. Halloween was coming up, and the kids were getting all excited, so I just wanted to make sure I got this done a day before, because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't rushing on the night of to get it done. And so this is a self-portrait of me looking up, and I'm reflecting on the last 31 days of this art challenge. I spent hours on this drawing only to realize that the perspective was completely wrong. I was drawing with the book straight on the table instead of kind of angled upward at me. And so that made this part of the face totally out of perspective. And I was finishing up the drawing, adding in the details and everything. And then I realized, oh my God, it's totally ugly. I can't accept this as my final piece for Inktober. I was thinking maybe I'll just scratch it. I mean, who's watching, right? It's just me, myself, trying to hold myself accountable. And when I thought that, I'm like, that's right. You will care. You're the one that needs to finish this. Nobody else cares. Right, you're right. You care. And if you don't do it, then you're gonna feel bad that you never finished it. And so I pushed through. I erased pretty much everything on this drawing. Yeah, except this one eye. I kept that one eye because the perspective on it was correct. And the nose, everything, I just erased everything again and just redid it. And it did take a lot more time, and I was very upset at myself, but you know what? It was worth it in the end because it was one of the best portraits of myself that I've ever done, I think. And this one was done with just regular pencil. I actually used a pencil that my son brought home from school. Oh, did I just mark my drawing? But a pencil that he brought home from school in one of his Halloween goodie bags. And so yeah, just to make it harder on myself, I used a junk pencil. I don't know why, but I did that, and I drew this self-portrait of myself. I was also thinking about, where is this going to take me in the future? Am I going to see this through? Am I going to keep going with this art hobby of mine? Because I've always loved art and I want to keep doing it, but you know, as always, life takes over, kids, you know, household work, it all just kind of comes at you. And so that was me thinking about the last 31 days, but also where this will take me in the future. So yes, this is my image for day 31 reflection for Inktober 2021 using Jess Karp's Prompt Bliss, Jesstober 21 on Instagram if you want to check out all the images from her followers. And I just want to say that I am very hard on myself. I know I don't like most of my drawings, but that last drawing for Inktober, the reflection picture, I'm actually really proud of. And also because I pushed through, I didn't give up, and that makes me feel like I can keep going with this thing just for me, you know, to show my journey and how I'm rediscovering my love for art. I just feel like sometimes you just need to do that one thing that's for you only. I'm glad you stayed to the end of this video. I'm glad you're along for the journey with me. And if you haven't already, you know what to do. Just hit the subscribe button and a notification bell if you want to see more videos from me. And until next time, just keep drawing. And this art break is over. Bye!